Ladies and gentlemen, we're coming to our second meeting of the month, April. Thank you so much for coming and participating in our city government activity. Roll call.
Alderman Chapman.
Present.
Alderman Cunningham.
Here.
Alderman Wilson.
Present.
Present.
Alderman Chambers.
Here.
Alderman Chastain.
Here.
Alderman Lynn.
Here.
Mayor, we have a quorum.
Alderman, we have the agenda in front of us. We have an amendment to the agenda. The consent agenda item 4.0 be added to the agenda. Is there any item on the consent agenda that any other person would like to pull off for discussion? Give me that item number.
Item number 415.
Item number 4.15.
0.15. Item 4.16, Mr. Mayor, please.
Give me, hold on just a minute. 415, Alderman Cunningham.
Yes, sir.
Alderman 415 will become item 5.2. Chairman.
Item 4.16, please.
4.16
Yes, sir.
will become item 5.3.
Item 4.17. 417.
Item 4.17.
17.
417
417.
will become item 5.4.
And 4.18.
um, 5.5. Bill changes, can I get a motion to approve the agenda?
To approve the amended agenda. Second.
All in favor, say aye. Ayes have it. Alderman Deloach.
Good afternoon, everybody. Tonight, for my guest as devotional, she is no stranger. She is our resident, unofficial resident. What would we call her? Our prayer person. She's been chaplain, resident chaplain. So I'd like to bring forth my mother-in-law. She's the co-pastor of New Generations Fellowship in Pascagoula. And if y'all have time to come on Sunday, y'all please visit us. But because she makes us recruit like that. So we'd like to welcome our resident chaplain, Miss Reverend Dr. Ann Pickett Parker. Thank you.
Good afternoon.
Evening.
One verse, wrong. 15. 15, verse number 1. We then, that are strong, ought to bear the infirmities of the weak, and not to be afraid. How many of you are familiar? Because I really did not work at a video. And, that's a long time. He wrote, and he released a couple of books. Family Circle magazine. And the editorial page included a poem of the Christian. Poem you wrote, but maybe you didn't know who wrote it. Yeah. Charles Hodgson wrote it. And it was titled, Everybody, Anybody, Nobody. With a few minor changes, one something like this. There was the most important job that needs one. And no reason not to do it. Absolutely none. Vital matters. Exactly will be carry out the task. Anybody told you that this is something somebody would surely have to do. Unwilling. Anybody had the ability, but nobody believed that it was his responsibility. It's their job. Anybody could have done it if anybody thought either one. But since everybody recognizes that anybody could do it, so anybody aware of, but he was in charge of seeing that it was taken care of. And took it on himself to follow through and do what everybody would do. But when everybody did so did not get done at all. Everybody was complaining. Drop the ball. Anybody. Then it was an awful crying shame. And everybody looked around for somebody. Did everybody would have, but in the end, nobody did what anybody could. Your name is truly excellent. All the earth. We thank you for all your mighty works. That made us in image to exist in community with other people. I thank you tonight, God, for these, your servants, our city staff, and our board officers. I give thanks for the way of service they have chosen to take up on behalf of all of us here. We all come to this room tonight as complex beings, carrying burden, carrying joy and hope, trusting that you alone can hold us together. Hold us together, O Lord, in your love and in your peace. We love you, Lord, and we ask your guidance in all we do. Let each of us look around and see what we can do to make our city prosper. Let's see. For this, O Lord, We give you all the praise, all the honor, and all the glory. It's in the name of Jesus Christ we do pray this prayer.
Amen.
Thank you.
Child abuse awareness. Representative here. Yes. We have on the board, we're happy to be a part of issuing this proclamation on behalf of child abuse awareness and prevention fund. Where no child deserves to live in a field of abuse. Unfortunately, child abuse is rampant and can result in numerous adverse consequences, children and young people. Whereas child abuse is a pressing issue and it can serve consequences. And it is essential to recognize the signs of child abuse, take action. And where there are consequences to all types of abuse, some more serious and long lasting than others. Whereas children who have been physically abused may exhibit violent and aggressive behavior. More severe abuses, the greater the more and longer the consequences will be. Whereas taking timely action, such as raising child abuse awareness and organizations organizing child abuse prevention activities, can have curbed such heinous incidences. And whereas child abuse is an emergency, number of reasons, and leads to death and public level child abuse awareness, preventions, whole cause of child abuse awareness and welfare. Whereas children are vital to our future success, to our prosperity, quality of life. Children are also our most vulnerable, valuable asset. Whereas all children deserve to have a safe, stable, nurturing home and community, they may need fostering their health, growth, and development. And whereas the Academy of South Mississippi Children Advocacy Center has conducted more than 900 forensic interviews, provided 2,141 services to children under the Victims of Crime Act, known as VOCA, who are sexually and physically abused, or even child witnesses about the process. Therefore, on the board of the elected officials and leadership of the city of Moss Point, do hereby sign this proclamation and the goals of the Academy of South Mississippi Children Advocacy Center in an effort to ensure consistent availability, access to, and expansion of prevention service. This mission and goals will help to decrease child abuse incidents and curb the heinous incidents, and not only the month of April, but every day. Given on this signature, my signature, seal of the city of Moss Point, this the 16th day of April 2024. Thank you and congratulations.
I just wanted to say thank you to the city of Moss Point for your support. If you look around the city or throughout Jackson County, if you see pinwheels out there, some out in the front, in front of the bushes, that is one of the symbols, this national symbol for Child Abuse Awareness Month. And when you think about a pinwheel, you think about what a child's life should be like, carefree, blowing in the wind, and that's why it is the symbol. So we do appreciate you. We appreciate Moss Point Police Department for letting us have blue ribbons on their patrol cars to bring awareness to child abuse awareness, child abuse awareness month as well. Thank you.
Proclamation of National Safe Voting Week. Okay. On behalf of the leadership here in Moss Point, we're honored to be able to issue this proclamation. Over 100 million Americans voting continue to be a popular recreational activity. From coast to coast, folks are taken to the waters and enjoying time together, boating, sailing, paddling, and fishing. During National Boat Safety Week, the U.S. Coast Guard, its local auxiliary flotilla, and its state and local safe boating partners encourage boaters to explore and enjoy America's beautiful waters responsibly. Coast Guard estimates that human error accounts for many boating accidents annually, and that the use of life jackets could prevent nearly 86% of recreational boating fatalities. Adoption of the basic boating safety procedures such as carrying emergency distress and communication equipment, wearing the proper life jacket, participating in boating safety courses, driving to annual vessel safety checks, avoiding alcohol use while boating. Whereas over 650 people die each year in boating-related incidents in the United States, of which 75% of these are fatalities caused by drowning, and many of these incidents are not caused by the boat. Equipment, environment factors, but the human error and poor judgment. And whereas we recognize that the goal of the National Safe Boating Campaign are proactively supporting the USCG station in Pascagoula, Flotilla 38, USCG Auxiliary Recreational Safety Boating Program. And in the interest of promoting recreational boating safety throughout the city of Moss Point, therefore, on behalf of the elected leadership of the city of Moss Point, we hereby also support the goals of the North American Safe Boating Campaign and proclaim May 18th through May 24th, 2024 as National Safe Boating Week. Thank you so much for coming, and we're glad to give you this proclamation. sir. Come in, come in.
Well, I look like a coastie. Walking down the street, you probably identify me as U.S. Coast Guard, and I am sort of, except I have a very unique category. We're called auxiliaries. We're volunteer citizen component of the Coast Guard. We live here, we work here, as neighbors. So our primary purpose in life, aside from assisting the regular Coast Guard, is recreational boating safety. We offer vessel safety checks, as you indicated. We do boating safety class. We work with the communities and the individuals in the communities who are boaters to try to promote awareness of what's required by federal and state regulations, and what you should be doing when you're operating. Mayor Knight, members of the board, we really want to thank you and the community for supporting this for the third year running. Thank you.
Certificate of appreciation. We Billy Knight, the mayor of Moss Point, and alderman, alderwoman of the city of Moss Point, in recognition of Officer Ryland Rooker, hereby awarded the certificate of appreciation for dedication demonstrated by exercising diligent effort required to successfully complete work necessary to graduate from the Southern Region Public Safety Institute. By doing so, Officer Rucker has prepared himself the noble cause of ensuring the public safety of the residents of the city of Moss Point. A testament of our sincere gratitude as representative of a truly grateful community. I do hereby offer my congratulations, my signature and the seal of the city of Moss Point on this the 16th day of April, 2024. Officer Ryland Rooker.
All right, take this opportunity, last board meeting, previous board meeting, we hired 2 new police officers in the city of Moss Point. I want to introduce them to the mayor and the board. It's a new thing we started now, so we can put, everybody see the new officers. I want to introduce Barry Chester.
How y'all doing, everybody?
Officers.
Thank you all for that. We have down to the public comments. This Miss Regina Lancaster. Yes, please come up.
Good evening, I'm Regina Lancaster. I live at 6518 Gregor Street here in Morrison. I'm also the owner of 6600 Gregor Street, 6524 Gregor Street. I have a concern with Mr. McBride allowing homeless people and allowing, when he set up a forum with horses now. And I'm just concerned about the depreciation of my house value. So that's my concern that I'm here tonight.
Do you know the address of, you know the address of that location?
No, it's just a field, an open field, a lot that we have.
And your address is?
6524 Gregory, 6600 Gregory, 6518.
All right, we'll have our inspector go out and look at that.
6601.
What is it?
601.
5601? All right. Wells, is this, and who is Anna Wells?
Yes, ma'am.
I'm right up, Ms. Wells.
Good evening.
Good evening.
My name is Anna Elois Wells. I attend the International House of Prayer, where Kevin D. Bowling is my pastor. But I live at 4712 2nd Street, Moss Point, Mississippi. And when I bought that place, there hadn't anybody lived in it in a long time. And the neighbors on one side named Gregory Baxter. And they were using the property before I got there. But after I bought the property, I asked them to stop using the property because it was mine now. They had a basketball, one of the trees on my property. And I asked them to take the ball down, to go down and stop playing ball because the ball come over and hits my house a lot of times. It would come over, they would come over and they'd get in my flower bed. I love flowers. So they would not do it and they continued to do it. And then finally, I think Miss Shirley was the chief of police, I don't know her last name. And I went in and I called and the police, as they come out, they talked to them, they wouldn't do nothing. So finally I went and talked to her. And she told me, well, nobody gonna tell her she wasn't doing her job. So she got in the car and called the police and came with her. And she made them take that ball off of that tree that was in my yard. That's how I got rid of that. Then they got a dog. And this dog would come over to my house every time somebody comes to the house, every time I walk out the door, he's over barking at us. And at that time, I was keeping a few neighbors babies. And they would have to call me every morning, every evening to get the dog out the way so they could come in the house. And that was so aggravating to me. And I tried to get them to put a lease on that, but they wouldn't do it. I had the police, and you could check the record. I had to call police so many times. And they would come out and they would talk to Greg Baxter, but nothing was never done. The dog still went on the lease. By the grace of God. The dog got ran over one day. I walked down and saw him laying on that ground bed. I said, thank you, Lord. He have a lot of company on weekends and they all down my house and all up down the streets. And I don't like that either. And I try to talk to them about that, but they don't hear me. And then they leave a lot of litter behind them. A lot of times they have parties, they have a lot of loud music. The police about that so many times. And now they grandchildren have gotten up some age and they got all of them motorbikes, all these loud motor things. And they have taken our street every weekend to be a racetrack. And I'm 83 years old. I'm a cancer victim 5 times. I don't know how many times I've had to have surgery. That noise that came on a while ago gave me a terrible headache. I can't stand noise. Ever since I had chemo treatment, it left me like that. So I really want you to do something about my neighborhood because it's so painful to have that noise going on.
And we are so close to each other, there's not much different distance between our house. And I just would like for you all to do something about him and all that noise and them bicycles and riding up down there. And I mean, they do it purposely, raising the engine. It ain't just they driving it. They raise the engine. And they do it despite me. I know that's what it is. All I can do is pray and it comes to you all for some help.
Well, thank you. I'm sorry you're going through them as well. What is that? Give me your address again as well.
4712 Second Street, from Mississippi.
Frederick Street.
Second Street. Behind Shiloh.
4712 Second Street.
Mr. McWilliams. James McWilliams.
Y'all, my name is James McWilliams, that's my mom, Annie E. Wells.
What's your mother?
Yes, sir, she really, Annie Eloise McWilliams Wells.
Okay, okay.
What through the hall? Sir,
Okay, go ahead.
well, sir, I've gone away and lived in New Orleans, when mama had bought that home and all that, and I didn't know all this was going on. And,
You talking about the same thing?
same thing, but the thing about it now is that these ATVs run up down our street agitating. She get off from church, she likes to go home and get her nap. And I sleep with the work lady at Ingles, so I do mechanic work all night at Ingles on destroyers and on our LHA ships. So I work from 6 at night to 10 at night, and sometimes I go in and work at Wendy's from 6 in the morning to around about 11. I knock off and I go get in the bed, go to sleep. And now that get me, man, I'm ready to take my pistol and go shoot up me some fights. You know, but I know I can't do that. And the thing, I want to, but I know I can't. So I went to the police office Sunday, and she done come out, I come home from the laundry, and she went to the door and talked to Greg about them, oh, well, we're gonna make them stop. And they got ready to disperse, they got dirt bikes, and the dirt bike is the one that's the loudest. So I filed a complaint with the police department because I told mom, I said, okay, I've had enough now. And we need to see what they can do. And the officer said that he can't pursue them. He said when they run out in front of him and he gets behind them and they gun him and go off, he said he can't chase him, he can't light his car because if something happens, they have an accident, it's on him in the city. I said, well, what you gonna do, man? He said, well, the city can only, I mean, they can do so much, but then it's really, they can't do too much. He said, if they crash or get in any kind of accident, it'll be on us. But he said, the citizens can help us out. He said, if y'all can help us out to help get them. I said, okay, well, then I just have to go to a meeting or go talk to the mayor and all that. And I come in to talk with you and you was gone. But they said you had a meeting tonight. And I said, okay, well, we can get all of them at one time. Then just come back and talk to everyone. One time. This is really getting aggravation. I don't want to leave and go to work at night and these people terrorize or be gone in the daytime on sea trials and come back to my mom was agitated, be by a boy riding these motorcycles up down the street, you know, because I stay with her now, you know, and I'm the only somebody around that can take care of her for right now, other than my other nephew. But we want to see what the mayor and the board of aldermen can do to help these policemen police these streets with these ATVs. They're riding them with no help. No registration and done. Sometimes they be all up on Main Street with two on both of them, and they running at least over 40 miles an hour. They run over 40 miles an hour. I ride them things. I'm in Philadelphia, Mississippi, out in the woods, and I know how fast they can go on the roads and all that. And if you ain't careful, somebody can come over a hill and hit you. Because I got ran over one time on them things out the road and all that. And I stay in the woods with them. So I asked them nicely, and I told the young men that's the father of some of you boys, take them things and ride them up somewhere on the other end on the back road where we stay at, where you go toward Ed Mail. I say ain't no cars, nobody up down them road there. Y'all can do all your race or whatever that way, but then they want to look froggy. I said, well, we can take care of this another way. That would make me want to go get my pistol and let them know I'm in business. Mama. Cause I don't want nobody threatening or agitating my mama, because sometimes I go out on the sea trial and I'll be gone for a week or so. My nephew, he works now in Pascagoula, so we want to know what the city can do. I have a case filed against them with the police. You know, do that way. And then he said, we just need to talk to some people to help them do their job.
Well, you might hear you, I know it's, really believe it or not, it's not only in your area, but we've had complaints before all over the city. We're gonna have to come up with some kind of ordinance here that would put teeth into what the policeman can do, because the chief told you right, you know, if we chase them and they have an accident, then you know the story. So what we try to do as the, police ask you, the citizens have to help us. Do you know the parents of these, are these young kids or are these?
Young kids, man.
So I'm wondering, do you know the parents of these kids?
But I know
Are
some.
they from your neighborhood? They from some other neighborhood?
They're somewhere else.
Some of them are. Mayor, I called the police Sunday myself about just what he talking about. That same street, they.
We got two of them stopped, I told both of them. On the same street park, 2 forwards, got two of them stopped. But we are, we didn't stop, it's zero policy, we told them, we cited them, there's 2 juveniles on them, made their parents come get them.
Sure were. Thank you, Chief.
Well, we might, you know, we know, we hear about it and we, you know, the police trying to do what they can and we'll stay on it and continue to try to make it better. But, you know, we do have to police ourselves and it's too bad the parents of the kids won't be more responsible. But that's what we got these days, okay? We just have that. But we'll do everything we can on our end to really support, because we know it's a serious situation.
Yeah, because they can run out in front of somebody. You take them out in your truck, you ride, and all of a sudden you come out, okay, they gonna make it look like, oh, it's the driver's fault, that car, he should have used. Well, you know, they just run out riding and they don't care. They don't care. They don't stop at these stop signs. They just keep going.
I hear you. We'll work on it. Thank you for coming and
Presenting to Alderman, Mr. Mayor, and City Councilman, City Council lady. Thank you, Mr. Officer. Thank you.
Ms. Davis. All right, thank you all for those comments, and we know everything you said as well as an issue for us in our city. And it's not only now, we got a report about a month ago that it wasn't just those kind of vehicles, but automobiles, driving automobiles down the community street, they said, was just like a racetrack. It was not only these vehicles, but automobiles. You imagine going 40, 50? The couple that was here tonight said 100 miles an hour. And I said, wow, 100 miles an hour? To our mailboxes and all that. So we hear you. We're trying to do everything we can. We're trying to encourage our citizens to help police ourselves, with parents being more responsible for these young people. So we all for everybody's help. All right, thank you for those comments, though. We're down to the consent agenda. Item 4.
Mayor, you skipped department reports.
Oh, excuse me. We're down to the discussion of monthly reports of departments. Questions of any department?
I just had a few and I'll be real quick. Mayor, if I may.
Go ahead, sure.
Real quick, the first one, matter of fact, I'm gonna combine this with the clerk and finance. We talked a few weeks ago about scheduling a budget review. Are we any closer to being able to schedule that? Mayor, the budget, we talked about a mid-year budget review to discuss some of the issues that we had. I'm just wondering, I think you had tasked, I guess, the clerk, or maybe I can't remember, to set up a mid-year workshop for a budget review. Or is that coming up pretty soon?
We had a meeting with one of our vendors, and we're waiting for a proposal for the contract to bring that
to the board and put that in that discussion. I think that was what we discussed, Mayor. But if you want to have it before then, we can go on and schedule something to give them an update, and then when we get the proposal, just bring it back.
Well, I'm definitely not trying to rush it. I just,
Yeah.
I think what we were talking about was an overall budget review. But if you want to wait and include that, I'm certainly okay with that, but,
It's a big,
just don't want it to slide off our radar. We really needed to follow up and kind of give everybody a good idea where we are with our numbers. I know you were concerned about incoming revenue and the revenue we have budgeted, and we want to make sure we're going to get it. I don't know, just would appreciate a follow-up
Yeah.
that maybe we'll, so I think what you suggested, we actually schedule a workshop with the board, right, Mayor?
Do.
Okay. Real quick, Jesse, you're working with the Web Civic Plus, is that right? Just had a couple of thoughts. I'd like to, first of all, thank you for the work you've been doing on marketing. One thing I've noticed that I didn't finish my sentence. He's working with Civic Plus to update our website, so everybody knows what I'm asking about. And it does need to be much more user-friendly. There's a lot of cleanup that needs to be done to the website, so I appreciate that. One of the things I've noticed is it doesn't seem to be very cell phone friendly. Can you make a note to maybe make that one of your discussions? And would you mind taking recommendations or comments from individual board members of things we've heard, either complaints or things that we would like to see that you talk to them about improving our website? Could we reach out? Would it be okay for us to just send him just comments or whatever? I mean, I got a couple things I'd like to. I don't want to tie everybody's time up tonight, but I think we can make our website much more user-friendly and easier to use and so.
54% of the website using video. So it's actually the top of mind.
That is? Okay, great. Where are you at?
Well, we are approving a training here tonight.
Yeah, I saw that on here.
So once I begin that, we'll begin work. So
that's the next step. Okay. Get that one. Let's see. I want to thank Richie. Just want to mention this, Mayor. You know, we had some discussions this past week about the Restore Grant and the corridor project. Appreciate you reaching out, Richie, and getting those discussions going and the information we got. I think we're going to be able to I think that's really going to help us in a short turnaround to get some funds flowing there. Saw Sue over there. I just want to thank you for the Main Street for the barbecue. That was, I think, our biggest one yet, and enjoyed being out there. That was a big turnout. Main Street, good job. Thanks, Donna, for all you do as well, and Rick. I know you've been working hard, and it's nonstop, and I just appreciate it. No questions for you. I just didn't want to leave you out because I see what all you do. But I did want to thank Yasmin. I had an issue with Pelican Landing, and I wanted to just, Mayor, thank you for the job she's doing over there. When you call over there about questions about Pelican Landing, or when there's a dispute between people who are renting or anything, it's just, she's always got her facts together. She handles problems very well. Just want to thank you as well for that. Because, you know, we had a discussion here about a couple people some issues that came up with rentals, and she straightened it all out and solved it. She's a good problem solver. Last one is something that Alderman Cunningham brought up a few weeks ago, and it's been on our reports for over a year, and I just mentioned it to Sam. But now that we have kind of some new folks with Clearwater here, would you please update your report for the, you needed lights installed somewhere?
correct, we just talked about
And what was the other thing? The three main things that my screen just went blank. I had it pulled up, sorry. Anyway, there's several items that H2O is needing at the plant and elsewhere that they need to work with Clearwater on. I think one of them we've approved. We're just waiting on funding. And the other two are what, Sam?
Yeah, that could be.
The lighting at the RO plant, and then something up on East Lane. And you said something about flow at the end of line, the dead end, the dead end lines for water line. Mayor, the reason I bring it up, these are items, as Alderman Cunningham pointed out a few weeks back, that have been on the report for many, many months. And I just would like to ask that maybe Sam and Russell get together and update that report and come back and tell us where we really are and what we need to do to fix those three problems. We do that? Thank you, Mayor. That's all I have.
Ms. Barnett, is that hand mic? Hand mic ain't working. I mean,
It's working, but the button back there that was just turned off because the lapel microphone is too long. But it works. Do you want me to go ahead?
No, I just wanted, the whole purpose of us getting it was to move around when people out there talking that other people can hear.
Is that?
I'm the one can't hear. Any other question? The board? Okay. We're down now to, I jumped the gun on that one. Consent agenda. We're talking about item 4.1. And I'll just reiterate that we moved 415, 416, 417, 418. So with the exception of those items, can I get a motion to accept the consent agenda?
Motion to accept consent agenda.
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Ayes have it. We're down to the main agenda. Item 5.1. Let me just give you some background on this disaster loan for FEMA that we are applying for. It was brought to our attention that there may be an opportunity for us to apply for a loan that would help us with some of the disaster. And we're just in the process now of putting that together. And this is just getting permission from the board to go forth with that. It will be a low interest loan. And we're also told at the very end of this process that it's highly possible that we will even be forgiven for this loan. But you got to go through this process to get to that point. So this is just a request that we apply for this disaster loan that would help us with any damage we had because of the tornado.
Mayor, and we do have a representative.
Yes, and we do have someone online, and if any of y'all have a question, we can. Keywan is online. The other gentleman there, McGee there. So if anybody got a question about this loan, these gentlemen there to answer your question.
Question.
Go ahead.
Okay. The loan it says community disaster loan. Is that for the city or is that for the community that had damages from the tornado?
No, this is city. This is
the city. Okay. Thank you.
For the city.
For the city.
The individual got damaged. It's their personal property. They have to individually apply.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, so if there's no questions, can I get a motion to approve this?
Second.
All in favor, say aye. Ayes have it. Item 5.2 is 4.15.
The question that I have, there was nothing specific in the write-up concerning the subdivision. We had approved a 3-point+ acreage for that campus, and now they're coming back and asking to divide this up now in a 1+ acre 3 times. Why is it, or what is it that they need now to be subdivided when they put in initial request for 3-point-something acres?
I'm not sure what the reason was, but our department, reviewed it, didn't see any reason it couldn't be subdivided. It's not gonna affect the cannabis facility or the billboards that he has on the property. He just broke it into smaller parcels. He went through the proper process, went through the planning commission, so it's here for approval.
Okay, the only problem that I have is initially when we approved this, there were no entrances or exits going out Old Skag behind them. Now with this subdivision, now there are going to be proposed exit or entrances coming off of that street, whereas before it was not gonna be.
I can talk to, Mr. Ferrero. I can talk to him and tell him that, hey, look, if that was the issue, that, for the cannabis facility, that if that was in the original proposal, that he was only gonna have entrance and exits to Highway 90, that has to stay the same. The other parcels, I'm not sure what's gonna happen with those. He hasn't given us any permit applications or anything like that. But as far as the cannabis facility, if that's what was proposed and approved, to only have entrance and exits on Highway 90, then that's.
That remains the same motion to approve, the request.
Another concern with that same parcel.
Second.
Excuse me, so what was that, Brother Chairman?
To add to what Alderman Cunningham had, I have another concern that came up in the report from the chief.
Of the same,
The same location. If I might.
yeah, go ahead.
The concern in his report was that, of course, he didn't have any issues with the development. That all met every code and standard. But he did mention that it would be good to have at least one access from Old Stage, and that's what Alderman Cunningham was referring to. So my question is, can we include that in the plans for any development? And he did mention we don't have a complete set of plans that we can review yet. But I would like to see that included, since it is a safety concern that the chief pointed out.
Just a matter of us making them aware that it has to be a part of those plans once he.
Handle that, the permitting process whenever it comes to us. I said he hadn't offered any, he hadn't applied for anything. He hadn't said what he plans to do with the other parcels as far as development or selling or anything like that.
So he's asking us for approval, but we don't know what we're approving yet. We haven't seen those plans.
All he's asking for is to split the property. Instead of one piece of property, I think it's gonna be 3.
And this is the proper process to do that. He has a large, or 3 acres, and he's wanting to make it into 3 1 acres. He followed.
What is the square footage of the property that's needed for the cannabis to be able to operate like it need to?
I don't think there's a size restriction on it as long as it fits within the zoning ordinance. So whatever the zoning ordinance requires, we double check that, the parcel that that's gonna be on, to make sure that that particular parcel is still gonna meet that criteria. I have it in front of me, but that was checked before it was signed off in our office.
I did tell them that really putting it up. Once the plans come in, we would, you will check access, because all the fire on Snap River.
Right.
School fails. We need access from there to the buildings, at least one that we can get.
Gentlemen, I think.
Let me add, and this may help clarify, I don't know this to be the fact, but I'm just thinking it through. I agree, the original agreement was that it would only be accessed from 90. So when it was all one parcel, that was the agreement. It would only be accessed from 90. So in order to have access to any of that property, he probably needed to split it into additional parcels. So the parcel where the business is would be accessed from 90. These additional parcels have access from Old Stage. That may be what he's trying to do to stay in line with his original agreement. So that business parcel, probably it sounds like, would still not be accessed from anywhere but 90. But the additional new parcels would be accessed from Old Stage. I'm just throwing that out there. That might be what he's doing.
And that access can be just for fire.
Just for that, yeah. And only for those parcels, not for the parcel that the business is on, yeah. I'm just offering that as maybe what's going on.
Mayor, I can add to that if you'd like.
Please.
Okay. He came in to split the parcels for future development. That lot is a lot larger than what's required by the zoning ordinance for that zoning district. he's not going to change his ingress or egress. That's still going to be from Highway 90, and we'll ensure that when he obtains his permit. But the parcel was large enough for future development, and he couldn't put more development on that one parcel unless he split it. So we're going to make sure that he does the right thing.
And I think what he's asking for tonight is just approve to split them up. Now, he get ready to put something on it. That's when we look at the plan to make sure the plan fit that particular piece of property.
Yes, sir.
Right now, it's just approval to divide them up.
That is correct.
Next step will be what they're gonna put on them, bring the plans so we can evaluate them. We can make that determination then whether they're. This is just to approve the dividing up of the property. Gotta get a motion on that.
Motion to approve.
That's for Alderman Cunningham.
Second.
Talking about Alderwoman Chambers. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Ayes have it. Item number 16, which is now 5-3. Alderman Chapman, you had that concern?
Yes, sir, Mr. Mayor. I noticed, and of course, I can agree, and I appreciate the commission and all the commissioners. I noticed there was just a statement. Vice Chairman Eric Davis stated that the entire redevelopment authority is at their disposal if they need it. And he also stated that he's willing to meet with all parties involved to make sure everyone is satisfied and can work together. So it doesn't seem to be a concern with the development, but the parties are not in total agreement. Same issue we had on Arthur Street. We were trying to find harmony, and I think he recommended that. I'm trying to see if we're pursuing this.
Mayor.
Hold on, just a minute.
Are you through, Alderman?
That's my only concern.
What was your concern again?
The concern was the harmony that the commissioner recommended that they all meet and come together to discuss the changes, basically. The same exact situation we had on.
Yeah, okay.
I think that's a bit different. He's wanting to just do a bar and grill, and he want to open a business. Now, here's a young man that's had a business in Atlanta. He born and raised here, and he want to come home and open a business. And Moss Point right now is in a growing process of bringing business home. Now we want to object that? As far as I'm concerned, Mr. Mayor, I'd like to make a motion to approve that.
Second.
You moved by Alderman Chastain, second by Alderman Little, that we accept the recommendation of the planning committee. Any other questions? Any other discussion? All in favor, say aye. Let's have it.
Nay,
Beg pardon?
nay one.
Nay? Motion carried. Item 5.517 is now 5-4. Is Alderwoman Chambers?
Yes, sir. I know this is on Main Street, and Main Street is commercial area, but I seem to think at this particular piece here, it's not big enough and it's not enough space for a car lot. And I'm gonna say nay on that part, because I don't see it being sufficient for that.
Any other comments?
Can we hear from Mr. Watts?
Marcus Watson, Waterway, One Covington Drive. That building you're talking about, it's not gonna be a big car lot. I think I put in for 10, at least 10, no more than 10 cars, and it probably won't even be 10. And it's not gonna be no work done. The cars will be brought there, ready to sell. And it's 4 or 5 out front, something like that. They try to
bring business to Morris Point. I've been, and you can see people can just park cars anywhere and sell them. That ain't a good look. I could do that, but I'm trying to do it the right way.
Reason I said no, Mr. Watson, we've had people come to us and say the same thing you just said. But when they open up the business, it's a different thing. We had that to happen in Morris Point not long ago with a business that said they were gonna do the same thing in an area that they, on a main street. But then when they did it, it was something else. We need to stop all these cars side the road, these junk cars, used car lots and all that. If you want to do a car lot, go out there, do it where it's gonna be out there on the main street. I just disapprove of this because of the past experience we've had with this here, with this such thing. That's why I said nay. It wasn't you, but it's the business. It's what people have done in the past that made us look bad, make it look bad. Because I rode and looked at one just the other day that we voted on that say they were gonna do the same thing. But when I went there, it was a bunch of cars out there working on it, a lot of junk. And he said he wasn't gonna do it. He was gonna clean it, keep it clean, sell just a few cars. You wouldn't see cars there. But what did you see? All kinds of cars there. They working on it, mechanic work, junk cars and everything else was out there. So I said no.
Mr. Bivens, can we get hear from you about this?
Commission voted seven. Well, one abstained because of conflict. 6-0, one abstained on approving the car lot. Now, I understand your concern. But we have to go by our ordinance and our zone. And that is approved on a special exception. We made a recommendation to approve it. You guys have to be the one to make the final decision, what is in the best interest for Main Street. So you're doing your due diligence. Now, the problem comes in, like Ms. Chambers just stated, we approve it, hear this good talk at this podium, and then the operation is to do what they want it to do. So where the problem lies? The operation of the city. Who controls that? Your building inspection department. So you got to get some foot on the ground. You want this city to grow and look different than it is looking right now at deserted, not lawfully operated. You got to get some foot on the ground to enforce it. You got the code to do it. You got to enforce it. If you don't have the enforcement going, go get the enforcement. Get tough. Take an example out somebody, but we approve it.
Thank you.
But that's in a good nature of, we got to have business.
Thank you.
May I ask you just one question? Looking at the square footage there, can you honestly say that you can get 10 cars there and still have room to operate?
We describe like you described. It will be packed.
That's right. No.
It will be packed. But if this gentleman, he got all his license, he doing it right. You got so many folks in Morris Point right now, running a car lot up there on your personal property. All over the city. He went out and got his license. He used to do that. Now he wants to do it legitimately. You make the special request to him, say, hey, we expect this. You give him the expectation what you want this city. If he can't meet your expectation, shut him down. That's how you run it.
Well, thank you. Thank you, Mr. Bivens. And that's not only this business, that's any business. When we talk about Mr. Carl Booker, open up his lounge cafe, the same thing apply to him. We got ordinance, we got rules. If he violated any of that, we shut him down. That's true with anything. Any business we have to monitor it to make it be what we want it to be in this city. That's why you have ordinance, that's why you have inspection, that's why you have those things. So once the planning committee do their due diligence and they recommend it to us, then if we accept it, it's our job to hold them accountable for what they're supposed to be. They can't say they're gonna have a lot, and then you find them fixing cars and all that stuff in the background, but that's not what the agreement was. And we find them doing that, we shut them down. That's with every business. We got businesses in town, I'm just talking to the chief about, that don't even have license. They operate without license. Why? Because we have gotten so far behind on inspection of buildings that people aren't even getting up their business license anymore. Well, whose fault is that? That's our fault. Because we are not going around inspecting these buildings to make sure they got what they need. That's our fault. So we have to get the system going where we got people out there that's doing the things that we need to do to keep people doing what they are supposed to do. Until we do that, people get away with what you let them get away with. Everybody, they get away with what you let them get away with. So it's up to us to monitor that and shut them down when they're not doing it. That's what we're trying to do with housing. We tearing down houses because they're out of violation. So we do that with everything else. And we are getting that up to speed. You're right. We got to get more boots on the ground so we have enough people out there to monitor these things. And that is why we're behind, because we haven't had nobody out there doing it. So we're trying to beat that up. But that's the only way we're going to stay on top of it. Okay.
May I change my motion to approve it.
Second. The motion by Alderwoman Chambers to approve it, second by Alderman Wilson. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Ayes have it.
One nay.
Item 4.418 is now 5.5 of 18.
5.5, yes, sir.
That's 4.18.
Alderwoman Chambers.
Yes, sir. This is, I disapprove of this. This is in people's neighborhood. This is in their neighborhood. They don't want this over there in their neighborhood. Because a neighborhood and I don't think a call out need to be there. It's already junked up over there as it is on this same piece of property. It needs to be cleaned up first before we can say anything, to put anything over there.
What's your name, sir?
Kenneth Sellers. Actually,
Are you the one requesting, making the request?
the person that I'm leasing one of the parcels to is the president. But it's concerning the containers and the vehicles that's there. The vehicles are all running, properly tagged and running. I'm working overseas for a nonprofit foundation, so I'm gone most of the time. There's containers that's there. I read on here where it said illegal containers. I have a t-shirt business that I'm just resolving now. The business has been licensed. I ran a t-shirt business. I use containers for shirts and equipment. Whenever I opened up the building and put those containers out there in 2014, there was no ordinance for the containers. I went to the building inspector, I went to the zoning. Found out, could I put them there? What was the stipulations? And they had no ordinance for it. They gave me the okay to put them there. They've been there since then. The license has been kept up for the t-shirt store up until now, but I'm getting ready to dissolve it. The code is actually wants to put the car lot there, at least one of the partial. Now those containers, only one of those containers is on the portion that he's leasing. I need to know what makes them illegal and what has to be done for them to be moved to an area and stuff, so they're considered legal. But right now, no one can tell me why they're illegal, because property is commercial property. It's in a neighborhood, commercial, one side of the street is neighborhood. The side that I'm on is commercial. I've had a commercial business there. I seen an operator ever since 2011. So they surely say it's all, the area over there is already, you know, dilapidated, look bad, anything like that. Then if that's the case, then what is causing it to be dilapidated? Like I said, the vehicles there, licensed and running. They may need washing because I stayed on a long time. But with Mr. Cronin renting, they're gonna be moved anyway. So he's gonna be using it for a car. And it's already commercially being used as commercial. Containers. I guess we don't know what needs to be done to bring it up to code. I have to move the one off the part that he had, along the fence line and stuff, I'll do that. If it can be painted, we can do that. But to say something that's somewhere without giving an explanation of saying what needs to be done, or just saying that's illegal, when you okay them to be there illegally for running a business, unsatisfied. It's sad.
Okay, any question?
Yes, I have a question. Mr. Sellers, you say you ran a T-shirt shop right there
Now,
over there on Earl Boulevard?
I have the license through Morris Point.
You was running the T-shirt business on Earl Boulevard, or were you running it up here,
I had
Main Street?
Main Street, I had a business there.
That's right, you
But
did T-shirts.
also have one, if you look in your records, and I have a privilege license for the T-shirt business at 4700 Earl Boulevard. It has been there for years. Sometimes, most of the time, I do the T-shirt seasonally now, during the time that the Monarchs and over in Pascagoula and Culver does their thing. But same thing, business is licensed and I operate from there. What makes the container illegal when y'all approve for them to be there?
Alderman Lewis?
Yeah, just a couple of questions. So there's several parcels here. Would your business be facing Highway 63 or Earl Boulevard?
Facing our book,
Your car business,
the car business,
the one you're asking for?
Mr. Trump, that would be a question for Mr. Trump.
But it's your land, right?
He's my property, but I'm leasing that to him. He went to the
Would the car lot be facing Highway 63? Or Earl Boulevard?
would be from Highway 63.
So you would approach it from Highway 63?
Way
to come in the property be off of her.
You come into the property from Earl. Okay, and according to our zoning, that is neighborhood commercial. It's not C3 highway commercial, according to our zoning map. Am I right, Marcus or whoever?
Yeah, that is C1.
So that's why you're having to get an exception. So, I mean, it just looking at it on the map, it looks like it's one big block of parcels that front Highway 63. So if I was only looking at a map, I would say, well, what's the problem? But I get what's being said here is the part that you're wanting to put actually faces the neighborhood. And it's zoned neighborhood commercial. It's not zoned highway commercial.
But the way I was saying is that when you come in from Earl, the lot will be toward the back, where you actually see it from the house.
Well, 4700 fronts Earl Boulevard.
Yes.
You got several other parcels between there and the highway.
Which only he's owns all that.
Okay, but are you taking up just 4700, that one parcel?
The back section of it.
I guess it's all got the same address, but that's what I'm asking. Does that whole area carry 4700?
Oh, no, not the whole area. One part over to the side, when the container goes on the side around the fence line, that carries a different portion.
That's part that fronts Highway 63.
Yeah, that's part of the front.
So again, this car lot will be facing Earl Boulevard?
And, yeah, well, the main part of me facing the highways because
The back of it would face,
when you come in, you have a building here, then you have a part back here that's facing highway.
yeah, but you come in from Earl Boulevard,
Yeah.
the back of it will be the highway. Just thought that might help.
Can't get to it from 63.
That's what he said.
Is this property his own property for what they've covered? I mean, I'm assuming you done, planning committee is recommended, so I assume.
With the special exception, that is one of the approved uses.
I just want to say something for what Cheryl was saying about the property cleaned up. The pictures that they brought in, we came last week, from 2 years ago. The date stamp on the bottom was when she just printed them out. That old Dodge stuff and all that stuff was gone 2 years ago. We cleaned that property up. And for the neighbors, I had got the neighbors that asked about, coming down, maybe talking, but I didn't text me, told me everything's fine. That's across the street. I know all the people. But it wouldn't have been a problem. It's not a problem with the people in the neighborhood because everybody knows, what I do. And I took pictures of the property, but they said it was acceptable because what they had, so he had stuff. But I think they had the pictures now. None of that stuff's on the property. It's only the containers and the travel trailers that we put stuff in and move stuff around. But it's not junk cars and stuff everywhere out there. Don't do that. I'm the one been keeping property up for years. I cut the grass. So, it's not a bad piece of property, jumped up there.
So that's what that was my only thing. City containers are illegal. How do I make them legal, or what makes them illegal?
Okay. Chairman?
Honorable Lady and Mayor, we approved this car lot. It was on commercial with an exception. I rode through there every day this week. The storage containers that you have is not legal to store in Marlboro. I don't care what they're doing in 2014, or what the previous group approved. They are illegal. No car lot, our recommendation, no car lot until that whole site was cleaned up. All those vehicles gone, all those storage containers gone, the trailers that don't have no tires on, gone. The push down trees, low down trees, all that cleaned up, and those houses fixed up. On a car lot, that's what it takes. Now, you talking about coming from Highway 63?
No, I was just asking, I want to know which way you got into the property from. He said, yeah.
Now, the only problem I have, I think earlier we had a gentleman trying to sell 3 cars, car lot right there off Ryerson and Earl Boulevard, somewhere right up in there.
Mr.
McBride.
Right, that was cool.
We turned it down.
Well, no, it was during our term.
Really?
Yeah.
And we turned him down.
Right.
And so this is what I was kind of concerned with, is appearing to be inconsistent. So, my biggest thing is fair and consistency. So I really don't mind whatever all the persons want or the board recommends, but what I don't like is anything that starts looking like in part, kind of partial.
I agree with you. I agree with you. That's why we're making a recommendation. Yeah. We made a recommendation based on the zoning and ordinance. That's what we made a recommendation on.
Yeah. That's the only thing that I have.
Final vote, you convince your fellow alderman?
Question I have is still, saying that it's not legal.
He's talking about, you're talking about containers. I'm talking about a business as a whole, a car lot. That's one part of.
The building inspection department can provide you the documentation and the ordinance that shows you what's acceptable and not acceptable as for a storage facility. Go to Jackson County Planning Department and they can explain it to you. If you want to go ahead.
Yes, and actually, I believe in the planning commission's motion, what was approved was, I think it was left as it would be approved as long as there was no violations on the property. If you come down to the office tomorrow, we can pull out the ordinance and go through page by page what we can show you what is and is not legal. And Mr. Prune had agreed that once they would, like I said, we'll issue the business license, if it's approved, once everything is satisfied, there's not any violations or code issues on the property.
And the reason why I was asking, along the fence line, that's not a part that he's actually going to grant. I want to make sure that I want to have my containers there, they're within code part. But if Canada have any,
Yeah, I don't think Connex boxes are allowed in the city of Moss Point.
Not without.
Not without special exception or permission.
the only thing I have is.
I did neighborhood commercial.
Instead, I'm gonna ask to table it until this is settled, and then we'll bring it back to the board. Once they get the containers, get the illegal storage containers down, get the property cleaned up, bring it back to the board and let us see what we can do then. Let's table it. I make a,
I second.
Making a motion.
yes, sir, I make a motion to table it.
I second.
The motion to table this item, second by Alderman Chastain. Any other question?
Mayor, one question. I just want us to be clear about what the stipulation is. We're tabling it until what?
They get their ducks in a row.
Until,
Violations on the property.
Wait, say it again?
Exactly how briefly.
Until there's no code violations on the property. And like I said, that covers, that's a blanket that covers everything, whether it be Connex boxes, derelict vehicles, derelict trailers. Those things may or may not still be there, but if that's the way the motion is made, I think that would make it easier for us to enforce and easier to accept in the next meeting.
Well, that's already in the original
Right.
agenda item, so I don't understand what it says that it will be approved. How did it say? With stipulation that all that gets done. So you could approve it tonight and still hold him to that.
We're not getting.
I make a motion to table it. I make a motion to table it.
And I'm the second.
There was a motion on the floor to table with the second by Alderman Chastain. All in favor to table?
Aye.
Aye.
Say it again.
Aye.
Nays? Ayes have it. Table this item. All right, we're down to item, the discussion 5 now, 5.6 would be a discussion. There's no discussion. Executive session, can I get a motion to determine whether we need to go into executive session? Could I?
Mr. Mayor.
Yes.
Item
19
19,
and 20.
4.1. What did I miss?
4.1?
4.19.
That's part of consent.
That was.
That was in the consent.
So, all right. Got it. Thank you.
Motion to approve the need, determine executive
Make the motion to determine the need for executive session.
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Purpose of this, to customer attorney?
The subject for executive session is personnel related to the fire department that qualifies for executive session.
Motion to go into executive session.
Motion to executive session.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Have it.